This was to boxing what the net was to comedy. It's just like...
And welcome back to yet another episode of 3SP. I'm the Mad Lad, Jihad. To my left and or right, I don't even know anymore. It's Mr. Justy Peanuts. Welcome on. And once again, joining us on the 3SP is Controlled Opposition, formerly Mr. Hate Speech, Mr. Leo Curse.
Yeah, get vaxxed. I wish I got vaxxed now so I could join the class action lawsuit.
Oh, well, there's a class action lawsuit?
Well, is there going to be one? I assume there's going to be one.
Right.
Now that it's all coming out, like every week, there's new stuff. They're like, yeah, no, it can be. Actually, yeah, no, yeah, apparently it does. Yeah.
Well,
then you get all these people complaining, like Daphne Barron being all like, oh, I just had my 19th booster, and I feel like shit, and one of my arms is falling off. And they're, oh, that means it's working. Oh, if your arm falls off, that means it's working. That's a good sign, actually. Yeah, that's really good.
I had a leaflet through the door today. It said, get boosted for Palestine. How are those two things fucking equated?
It didn't really say that, did it?
No.
Darius. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, I swear this is
unbelievable.
It's like a psyop to make
Palestine.
It's like a psyop to make Palestinians look shit at every single thing. If it's not flipping get boosted, it's some trans radical purple haired maniac. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, I love those pride parades. Is it pride parades or is it Palestinian parades where they have like some guy, some they them in like purple shiny lycra like prancing at the front? That's what Palestine is. Palestine is a bunch of they thems.
Have you seen
queer identifying they thems?
Have you seen the Billboard Chris video though? There's a Billboard Chris video. He's in London and he's outside. You know Billboard Chris is, right? He's the guy.
No, I don't.
So Billboard Chris is this guy who wears a billboard that says like kids can't consent to transitioning, right?
Boring.
But it's quite funny, right?
I mean, his opinion is. I thought he was going to say sex.
Oh, no, but he just stands there and says, kids can't do this. You know, that's the thing, right? And he goes to all these places, he just stands there with the sign, and people just come on and argue
I've seen with a golf sale one.
Yeah, basically that, but he did it in London, right? I'll show you this. Wait a minute. And some Antifa came along. Well, just watch it. I'll put this on now. Let me just show you. This is funny as fuck.
I'm with Antifa.
Ready?
Anti-vax.
Can't hear it.
Can you hear? You can't. Can you hear, Justin?
Can't hear it.
I can sort of hear something, but not well. No.
Well, I don't know. Why is it? How do I get to play the? Well, basically, I'll tell you what happens. Right? He's doing his thing. This like Antifa guy you can see in his mask comes up, and there's like these like Muslim girls there, and like he's anti-LGBTQ. He hates trans people, and they're like under 18, like 16 or something. They go, yeah, so do we. But he was looking to them. He was looking to them for support, but they're like like inner London Muslim kids are like, suck your mum, we don't like it. That's not part of our religion, yeah? Go fuck yourself, keep on walking, yeah, you fucking. And then
it's insane, isn't it? It's insane that they sort of like have this blind spot of that of course your views aren't going to line up on that, but they just assume that the Palestinians or whatever are repressed. We fight for the repressed. You're the same as trans people, aren't you? And Palestinians like, no, we're not. We really aren't. We don't need
because
you.
Neither. Actually, they're both the same because neither are actually oppressed. Both of them just make a shit show for themselves.
Well,
they should just be honest.
Well, they're not similar because the trans people don't get bombed into devastation and killed at every turn.
Yeah, Trump is coming up with solutions here.
Yeah. Listen, I've told you the solution. My solution is actually, I think my solution for the Israel, which I've said from day one.
Is it your final one?
No, it's the ultimate solution. Rebranding.
Work will set you free.
It's two-state solution. I don't think will work or can work. They should just do a one-state solution encompassing, in my opinion, Greater Haratz, as the Greater Israel, whatever they want, and Palestine, river to the sea. So the whole thing, one person, one vote, everyone equal. That should be the thing.
You fucking hippie. I'll tell you what they should do.
Wait a minute. Why are you laughing at that? I'm asking Leo why he's laughing. Why are you laughing?
10,000 years of hating each other.
But no, they're not though. But that's not true. Call it Judea Samira. Call it whatever you want. Why are you laughing? It's not. Otherwise, it's just going to be all that's going to happen. If it's two states, not going. You can't have why is that dumb to have a whole one state? That's actually
it's not going to matter anyway, is it? World War III, bro.
Once the Palestinians absolutely hate Israel and hate Jews and won't ever let it go.
But this is such a stupid thing, right? Listen, I didn't want to get into this conversation. But if you look at this, right, we've said this before. When a mother buries her kid, whether she's flipping Israeli or Palestinian, at that point she doesn't care about the land she's on. She thinks, "Why am I burying my child?"
No, that's not true. That's not true. This stuff.
Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I know it goes deep, but I'm saying, hold on. I'm saying I know it goes deep. And you got the mentalists, you got the jihadis on the Israel side, Hamas, who were like indoctrinated, and on the same side you got the far right on the Israel. You got Smotrich, Ben Gvir, all the settlers. However, if the whole thing was middle class, thriving, most people would push them out. It's gonna otherwise.
Yeah, but that's quite a big if. You know what I mean? And I don't think
but at the
understand.
moment that's not happening.
Darius,
the solution is not happening. What is the solution?
People don't understand that prosperity doesn't come from nowhere. It doesn't just like land out of the sky. Prosperity comes from basically culture and values.
Yeah, no, I understand. Hold on, but I understand.
The Palestinians don't have the culture and values that will give rise to prosperity. If they did, they'd be fucking prosperous. They're given everything. When like Gaza was, hived off, when Israel pulled out of Gaza, they had everything they could possibly need to become, Singapore on the Mediterranean. You know what I mean? Look at Lebanon. Lebanon was a prosperous, stable country when it was Christian majority. Then Palestinian refugees went in, and it's the same across the Middle East. Where are these thriving Islamist paradises with like lots of and I'm talking about places where they don't get money from resources. I'm talking about places where the wealth is generated through stable institutions that support free trade.
Listen, the thing is, the way you're saying is, it's never going to think. All that's going to happen if you continue on this path is this current war will end. Then in 10 years' time, it will start again. It will be even worse, and it will just repeat. Now you can say, they can't. Their lives
to Earth.
Their but you're saying their lives don't change, but they can change. So South Africa went from that, or maybe South Africa went from being apartheid to being one country. Whether it worked out for them,
look at Zimbabwe, look at South Africa now. Absolutely,
yeah, but you're not
paradise.
But the thing is, it's not apartheid. It's not apartheid. Anyway, listen, that's my solution.
No, it's not apartheid. It's not apartheid. Look at Zimbabwe before it achieved independence, and look at Zimbabwe now. I mean, all right, they got independence and like equality and stuff like that. You got the equality to starve to death because Mugabe's given the farms to his cronies. You know what I mean? It's
well, talking about farms,
they're doing that here.
Yeah, talking about farms.
Yeah, we're doing it here. I got to say, in 10 years' time, the West, like a lot of the West is going to be like, we're going to be increasingly Islamic. Like, if there's not some sort of big conflict that makes people face up to it, if it's just this sort of, if it's a slow, peaceful takeover, man, then the West is going to stop. Like the way, as in Europe, is going to stop siding with Israel, and it's going to side with Hamas. Israel's got the potential to be wiped out. Although, like America and South America, a lot of the countries there, like Argentina, are gonna support it. So yeah, man, I think 10 years time, it's Israel that needs to worry, not the Palestinians.
What is your So I actually think a one-state solution. Obviously, he's going to have but it could. That I think is an. I don't think a two-state solution is going to work ever. I just don't see it. Right. So, what is your actual solution, Leo? Then, if you're saying I'm suggesting that, and what are you suggesting?
I don't think there is a solution, to be honest. Like the only solution is.
But there has to be a solution because at the moment, not just for the Palestinians.
All right, there's not a nice solution.
Okay, so
there's not a pleasant solution.
Okay, so what is your solution then? What is your solution? Doesn't matter if it's pleasant, because people are not going to be happy with a one-state solution either. So what? I think
what Israel is going to do is they're going to put because they control the water supply into Gaza, they're going to put stuff in the water that turns them all transgender.
Uh,
They're doing that
atrazine.
everywhere.
Atrazine, I think it's called.
Yeah, whatever they use in Britain.
No, but what is your actual suggestion then? If
No,
you
I think that is probably
Well, how's that
what's
gonna-
going to happen.
so Israel are going to poison the Palestinians' water and
Not
turn
poison. Whoa. You think
Yeah.
transgenderism is a poison? Are you joking? No, they're gonna greatly improve and enhance and make it more diverse.
So, but following that logic, then the solution is a current two-state solution as it is. Then, is your suggestion?
With all the Palestinians being transgender.
Okay. Although it is okay. Although I'd wager there's more transgender people in Israel than there are
There is.
actually in
They're very
Palestine.
LGBTQ plus IA friendly.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen.
So so now there's going to be more in Palestine, in Gaza.
Well, actually, they've just been talking about that. I wasn't basically. This is what we were going to go talk about today. This is what I wanted to discuss: the farmers' inheritance tax, BlackRock's, the rigged Mike Tyson fight. I don't know if you've seen this. Gang members are getting arrested for wearing their colours and patches in New Zealand now, which is a whole. I'll tell you about that. A poor Welsh Christian attends a mosque in prison, and the new Jaguar advert. That's what I want. Oh, and obviously what's going on with Biden in Ukraine. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, that as well.
The
They
imminent
found a
start.
bomb. They found bombs at Gatwick Airport apparently just now.
Oh, that's what they just said. What is
Yeah,
it?
so it's like they say it's Russia.
What type of bomb is it? Well, I mean, I don't know what-
ICBM. Yeah, they pulled an intercontinental ballistic missile, 100 meters long, out of somebody's luggage.
out of their anus.
This is the thing. Like,
Justin was
so
going through Gatwick this morning.
Justin, is it true that you became a Russian bomber just to put ICBMs in your anus?
A Russian bummer.
Have you seen that drone footage where them two Russian blokes are bumming under a tank and they get blown up?
Oh, I've seen loads of that.
But they're bumming each other under a tank.
Oh, right.
Yeah, what a way to go.
I've seen loads of that
Man,
as well.
but you know what? We live in such a mad timeline that
Yeah.
you can watch videos now, and we're so
I know.
what's the word, like
Desensitized.
desensitized, that I watched a drone video from Russia or Ukraine, I don't know what side, of a drone chasing a guy around the tank.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well.
To the Benny Hill music.
It's scary. Yeah, it's so scary how slow this.
And it was objectively, like, if it was like a Call of Duty game, it'd be objectively hilarious. But then if you stop, I've literally just watched a man get blown up, regardless of whose side, where your loyalties lie. It's such a weird timeline. And that guy who died in the most... This is what I'm talking about. That guy who died, who's been bombed whilst we're watching to the Benny Hill film tune, yeah? He's probably gone to war, whether he's Russian or Ukrainian, thinking, I'm doing this for the country. He's died in a ditch for absolutely nothing to get laughed at and a meme made of him.
Yeah.
No, but it's like...
I know they're laughing at, but he doesn't know, does he?
No, but it's not even that. It's, I mean, I thought...
No, I get you. It's a waste of life, and that's what I'm saying. That when I said I wasn't being that flippant, when you was talking about there's never going to be a solution, they're just going to keep warring. It's like that is Earth. It's just part of how we've just done the system. Like, there's not a war, then there is a war, then there's not a war, then there is a war. It's how it works. It's like boom and bust, isn't it? It's just that is it. It's how it works. So
Yeah.
you're a hippie.
We're seeing the end of the sort of post-war world order, where America is in charge of everything and sort of enforces this sort of, everybody plays by the rules. And then Putin's been like, well, fuck it. I'm going to see if I can just take Ukraine using force, like in the old days. Just go in and just overpower everybody. And,
if humans learn, there would have been one war. Like whenever it was, they would have gone, oh, this is fucked up. Let's not do this anymore. But there's a war, then there ain't a war. This is my philosophy. There's a war, then there ain't a war, then there is a war. Repeat,
all right,
that is it.
Talking about this, like, kind of, what did you call it? The Western kind of order. Speaking about that, Leo, what about the ICC issuing arrest warrants for Netanyahu, Govan, and the Hamas leader?
I mean, it's bad for Netanyahu, you know what I mean? Because he's like a sort of, elected leader who's had one of these things, ICC things, issued against him. But it's funny, the ICC kept wanting to issue them against Hamas people, and the Hamas people kept getting killed. So they finally found like one guy. So one of the guys they've issued.
They said he's already been killed anyway.
Like 6 months or something. He's obviously dead. So, but they just had to balance it out by having somebody on the Hamas side.
But what does that mean then? Is that the ICC? Is this part of what you would call the Western liberal order that should be obeyed?
No, well, this is the thing. I mean, the whole sort of Western liberal order has been infiltrated by dumb communists. Like the ICC, the whole of the UN and everything is now just dumb communist activists who studied at Harvard or whatever and have all these dumb ideas about critical race theory and gender ideology and stuff like that. So they're completely removed from like what's actually good for the West. They hate the West. They want to destroy the West because it's colonial and all that sort of stuff. And they're full of these dumb ideologies. So the ICC is just like basically writing itself out of existence doing this. Even though it's bad for Netanyahu, it's worse for the ICC. It's worse for the United Nations because they're going to lose all their support from. I mean, if you lose support from America, that kind of means you're kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But America will never.
Yeah, go on. I was going to say when you're going back, that was the point I was going to make about that. Going back to that Antifa person speaking to that. That is it. It's just we hate the West. Is the only thing they've got in common, isn't it? It's like the transgender people and the ISIS or the Palestinian people. That's the only thing. It's like we hate white men. That's what we have got in common, isn't it?
It's weird how civilizations die. Like the Western civilization, it's not going to die from being invaded or anything like that. It's
the only common thread through all of their ideologies is we hate the West.
Yeah. And you see it like, everything from Jeremy Corbyn to, the transgender stuff, all of it, the underpinning theme through all of it is hating the West.
I used to be, I know how seductive that can be. I used to be a very knee-jerky, let's just rip everything up and start again, anarchic sort of like, I know it's nihilism, whatever it is, but I just wanted to, but as I get older, I'm like, fuck that. I just want to like walk down the street and like there's a coffee shop I can buy coffee in and stuff. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? That's what being conservative means. I just think it means I want to keep things as they are as much.
Yeah,
as
I think being like you can sort of divide the world into two groups of people. There's people who just want to be left alone and want to leave other people alone, and there's people who want to fucking get like stuck in and create all laws and control what other people can do. And it's like whether they're Nazis or whether they're right wing. Like, it's the same. The left and the right are the same.
This left and right is such a myth. It's authoritarianism that we should be fighting. And I'll tell you who a fascist is. It's not that you're right. Fascism isn't just a right-wing thing for me. A fascist is whoever's got their foot in the boot on your neck. It doesn't matter what their political ideology is or their gender ideology or their religion. The one who's got their foot on your neck is the problem. And I don't give a fuck if it's right or left or what religion it is. That's who you should be railing against and trying to avoid.
Because the left, like in the post-war consensus, the left sort of had control. So they sort of rewrote what happened in the 1930s and 40s as like, this is right-wing people. It's like, no, the Nazis, they're National Socialists.
I know.
The idea that they're
it's in the name. It's in the name.
And Stalin did. And the thing about this thing I don't get, like you can't even be, if you're 1% right of centre, you're evil and a baddie. But then you get people going, I'm a card-carrying communist. Like that's a badge of honour and they're proud of that. It's like, did you know Stalin did? Like he killed more people. I don't understand how like they think they can actually say I'm a communist, which is the actual, not like saying I'm 1% right of centre. Saying you're a communist, like saying I'm a Nazi. That's the actual ideology in the party, the manifesto, and they were as bad.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's such a blind spot in Western society that, and this is the thing you do, like you might support Arsenal, and you go, I love Arsenal. And all your mates go, I love Arsenal. Then you go, I love Arsenal so much, I hate Tottenham. You go, I really fucking hate Tottenham. And then one of your mates goes, I'm going to stab a Tottenham fan. You're like, whoa. That doesn't make how much you hate your enemy doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It's become this thing. The more left wing you can go, the more you hate right wing, and the more virtuous you are. But you're doing something fucked up. You're stabbing a Tottenham fan's fucked up.
The whole thing with left-wing people is it's utopian. So because they want like this higher, they believe in this higher goal, like multiculturalism. They're like,
based in reality, is it?
Britain can be multicultural. It'd be amazing. Everybody's going to get on. Everybody's going to have their own culture and blah, blah, blah. You know, they got this goal. And it's like, if you point out to them, well, that's not how it's working out. Like, I pointed out that, you know, Jess Phillips was harassed and intimidated by Muslim men during her campaign, almost lost to a Muslim guy. And when she accepted the vote, she was heckled by all these Muslims in the hall. And then afterwards, she was asked, you know, do you think there's a problem with, you know, Islamism in Britain? Do you think, you know, these people were heckling you and harassing you because they're Muslim? And she was like, no, it's not because they're Muslim. Actually, it's actually because they're men. And it's like, but they're not men; they're Muslim men. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. It's not like a mixed group of Jews and Muslims and Christians and stuff. It was literally just Muslim men. But because they've got this utopian idea that
what they want it to be, what they want the truth to be.
Gloss over all the terror attacks, if we just this is all going to work itself out. The grooming gangs, the female genital mutilation, all the rest of it, it's all going to work itself out. Whereas, like realists, I'm more of a sort of pragmatic. I don't really have a dominant ideology or whatever. I'm just sort of pragmatic, and I believe in individual rights and stuff. Like if you look at it, you're like, no, look, we're by continuing to import people from different cultures, you're setting the stage for pretty fucking bad stuff happening in the UK. But then they say that you're evil. They say that you're evil because you're saying, on, Leo. This is going to happen. You're evil because you're saying this isn't going to... And it's like, yeah, but look at Lebanon. Look at Iran. Look at all these places where it happened.
Yeah, but all these places... Hold on. Stop. All these places that you're saying, look at this, and this, and then importing all these people, all of those, a lot of that is a response to the West meddling in their country.
The West meddle. 200 years ago,
fucking 1940.
The West did it. It's America's fault. You're exactly like them. That's exactly what they fucking say. That's what Jeremy Corbyn says. Iran would have been like.
If you listen, you can shout as much as you like.
This is like Fred
West. You can shout as much as you like.
Listen.
I haven't said it. I've said 2 words, and I've got a screeching woman.
Listen, this is like Fred West saying what? I got a parking ticket 15 years ago. Yeah, of course I had to do all that. I got a parking ticket.
To be fair, if you've got a parking ticket, that is a legitimate reason if you've got a parking ticket.
When Germany was bombing London, like, let's all fucking move to Germany.
Hold on. Let me answer the points that I like your stolen Cafe Nero cup, by the way, Justin.
I bought this actually.
I'm sure you did.
In a Cafe Nero.
Well,
Listen,
the coffee.
Hold on. Let me just pull you up on a few of those things, okay? Regarding, you're saying, it's 200 years ago. Well, that's clearly not true because Israel wasn't created till 1945 or after the war.
Wow, it was created 2,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago.
Well, no,
it was created by God.
That's Israel and Palestine.
Created by God.
Iran was fine up until CIA and the British went in, overthrew Mossadegh.
Iran was fine.
What? It was fine. 1950.
It was fine, and then and somehow they did one thing, and now everybody in Iran's got to be like this because Britain said it. You know what this is like? This is like when Owen Jones said. You know what Owen Jones said? Listen. Do you know what Owen Jones said for why Hamas?
He said that he wants to bum Uranus.
No, you know what Owen Jones...
Bum you into silence.
You know Owen Jones's reason for Hamas executing gays? He said it's because in 1914 or whatever, Britain had a homophobic law in Gaza, and it's like, they're just following that law.
Yeah, listen, that's what about her, yeah?
Maybe Hamas has said down. Well, Britain passed this law in 1917, that means we have to execute.
I'm not here to argue Owen Jones' stupid points, but I am here to tell you.
You got your own stupid points.
Yeah, well, your stupid points. 1953, the British BP for British Petroleum with the Americans overthrew democratically elected, westernized government. Iran was a quite Western country. Then they installed the Shah. And then in the 1970s, because the Shah was so corrupt, then the mullahs came in. So it was a reaction to the CIA directly overthrowing the guy. And you can look at this. It's like Iraq is now in turmoil. Fair enough, they had Saddam, but is Iraq...
Do you think, serious question, there's any correlation between the most homophobic regions of the world where the blokes got the hairiest arseholes? That could be something to do with it.
Well, apparently there's in all these really super Islamic countries and stuff. Apparently, if you go to Dubai or somewhere, there's not that I would know, but there's a thriving underground gay scene. That's what Leo tells me anyway. But that's what I've heard. There's if you know, there's thriving.
because they can't get sex with a woman because they don't have that sort of culture of casual sex that we got in the West. They got to either go to a prostitute. Prostitutes are really, really expensive, or you just.
Oh, you know what Louis said? He said in Saudi Arabia. You know, he said a water. They're saying in Saudi Arabia. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's right. It's like a watermelon for fun, a woman for like kids, and a boy for like the best. That's their thing. That's honestly true. That's the saying in.
Darius has got that fridge. That is a fridge magnet.
Yeah, it's good fridge magnet. But listen, okay, we've kind of glossed over that, but actually things are happening. We're on the brink of World War III. Yesterday, Russia fired some sort of new missile into Ukraine in response to Biden and the West saying, Biden, the UK saying you can now fire.
Can I just paint out a hypothetical situation for all of the Trump deranged people? Can you imagine a world where on the 6th of November, you don't have to wait, Trump won on the 5th, he got the keys to the White House on the 6th, right? So Trump started his administration on the 6th of November. If this happened, what do you think those people would be saying? You see, Trump's the worst bloke in the world. What have you fucking done? You voted for him. You fucked everything up. They're so blind to the fact. What the fuck are they doing? Why has he done this?
But this is like, you're talking about it as if this is something that wasn't already going to happen. I mean, there's been escalations over the past.
It feels like the biggest escalation in the sort of like period between the Dems and Trump taking over.
I'd say given Ukraine lethal aid was probably the biggest escalation.
What's lethal aid?
Read stuff.
What's lethal aid? Oh, the weapons.
Yeah, and that happened pretty early on, and then
it just seems to me like, why now?
Oh no, this. I know what Justin's saying. He's saying this is like a final fuck you. Let me try and get World War III on the go before I think
if World War III does break out, Trump won't be able to take over, will he? They'll just go.
They should have just done this. They should have done this years ago. They should have escalated much harder because Putin's a total pussy. The trouble with Trump is like everybody's like, Trump's so tough. I think Trump's actually going to pussy out. Trump's actually scared, and he doesn't. He's happy to throw Europe under the bus, and why shouldn't he? You know what I mean?
Well, no, he's America first.
Trump is the only one who's sort of like made the noises that he will employ diplomacy. Like there's that interview, and he goes, "I want people to stop dying. I want to sort it out." I mean, the Democrats are the fucking industrial military complex war hawks, aren't they?
Their whole approach, basically, the Democrats' approach that was like they're helping Ukraine, but they're helping it really slowly, so that Russia bleeds. They didn't want a quick, decisive like victory for Ukraine.
For business,
they want to help it slowly because it's bad for business, and also it's more risky if Putin has a sort of embarrassing, catastrophic loss instead of this. I mean, he's still at a loss. It's like, I mean, this is a 3-day special military operation. We've gone past day 1,000. So it's he's already
but it's just
he's taking a fifth of Ukraine. He's not doing great. But I mean this whole approach of like bleeding Russia is pretty grim and pretty cynical, and also they're bleeding Europe as well.
But also, hold on. They're also, to try and bring this back on track, they're also bleeding Ukraine because all this aid and stuff.
What I mean by
Europe.
But
then they're bleeding them in such a cynical way because we're giving you this aid, but which it links to the UK. They've promised after the war, BlackRock will get 30% of Ukraine farmland. Farmland is known as like the breadbasket of Europe. It's the heart of Europe. And if we just take a step back from looking just at that, and then we look at the whole picture going on around the world, in America, the largest landholder now is Bill Gates, right? He owns all the land. He's building farms. He's doing whatever. And now, just this week, we've got flipping Keir Starmer in a video. Not even a video, just a meeting with BlackRock opening the same week. They're going to say, we're going to hit these farms with inheritance tax, which will mean that the farmers will probably, most likely, some of them were going to have to sell up, because they can't afford to pay off the thing. BlackRock will sweep in, and it's just like a real
land grab. It's a land grab.
A land grab. You will own nothing and be happy.
People are so fucking insane. Like, this is how fucked up the world is. You know my opinions, Darius. I am gonna defend the farmers here.
Yeah,
And
just before you go in, yeah. Justin hates farmers. Like a few years ago, Justin was like, I fucking hate farmers. And he was went through and called them what? Yeah, tell us why.
I'll tell you what, I grew up in the countryside, surrounded by them, and they're like the ruling class. They're like when you live in the countryside, they're like the elites, and they're we've got no money as they pull up with drive past you in their top of the range Range Rover to take their kids to private school. Do you know what I mean? So I've always been like, they've cried wolf too much, but this is fucked up, and this is. And people coming out and just going, "Oh, fuck the farmers! They should pay their taxes." Like, you don't understand. It's like if your sort of parent died, like, and leaves you a diamond ring, and the government like, "Yeah, you got that diamond ring's worth $5,000. You got to give us 40% of that." You're like, "Wait, it's just this thing." It's like, "Well, if I sell it, you know what I mean? I'll give you the tax." But they're taxing you on just say you're sitting on. The Duke of Westminster don't get taxed like this. They just want all the fucking money. They're taking first they took the pensioners' winter fuel allowance. Now it's the farmers, and they're doing it to little people at a time. It was the pensioners. I'm not a pensioner. That old adage. I didn't say nothing. Then it was the farmers. I'm not a farmer. I don't care. They're just fucking us. One group of people at a time. Can you not fucking see it? It's just this slow, protracted tightening of their fingers around our throats, and we're going, yes, fine, let them pay their tax. They're loaded. Their farm's worth $3 million.
Man, I think inheritance tax is like, that's how can you charge someone? Because what happens is someone
times.
And then like you said, someone gets given a house or whatever it is. It's like, now we're going to charge you whatever the inheritance tax is on that house. So, I don't actually have that money. I've just got a fucking house. So you've got to sell the house. That's how it works. I think inheritance tax is kind of inherently...
it's
double taxation. It's
well,
like
more than that.
paid.
Tax when you earn the money, then they're taxed when they buy the house. All the taxes, and then... But it's like, it's just. I just think the people that sort of come out and they think they're fucking like actually communists. Like they want the state who fuck everything up and hate you.
Except for the trains, they should be allowed to do the trains.
No, but they fucking hate you.
And electricity.
You're a quisling. You're cozying up to people that want you eradicated and dead. They want you to just be a slave, and they're not all for it.
People have got to understand that, like, politicians now. I mean, I think in the old days, politicians were more sort of like they had this idea that they were custodians of the country and they were there for everybody.
Servants,
and politicians now are, they just want power, and our countries are quite divided, so they don't care about the people who aren't voting for them. So everything Labour do, like the fact that they're sort of doing this it's almost like a sort of ethnic cleansing of the countryside, and getting rid of these farmers. They're going to bring in migrants. They're keeping the borders open. They're going to fill the countryside with migrants who will vote for them.
No, but I don't think that maybe that's a part of it. But I think what the part is that they're going to take over. The farms are going to can't paid. BlackRock are going to come in. Then they're going to have their own. Then they're going to control the food source. They've literally, in fact, it's not even. They've told us that you own nothing and you will be happy.
We'll be eating bugs, mate.
Yeah.
These farms will be like, oh, we're just like going to start making mealworms now. We're a mealworm farm. We're gonna, like, steaks will go up. Like, to buy a steak, it'll be like 80 quid.
Oh, you won't be allowed steak.
No, they will. They fucking will.
And it's much easier for the government to enforce regulations around, what sort of, if you got all these family-owned farms and you try and ban beef or something like that, the family farms will be like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Exactly.
If your mates in BlackRock are giving you kickbacks or giving you, like, when you stop doing politics, you go into a consultancy for BlackRock or whatever. If your mates are doing it, they're just going to be, everyone's going to be working hand in, in lockstep with the government, which is essentially fascism. Fascism is when the government controls everything. People,
I've got
don't
a movement.
seem to understand
I've just realised I'm going to drop my movement, like the MAGA movement. I've told you about it, Darius. I'm doing merch. My movement is make conspiracies theories again. Because when fucking Alex Jones was saying stuff about the New World Order and we thought he was mental, that was a lot better than when it was actually fucking happened. Can we make them just conspiracies again and not fact? Make conspiracies theories again. I'm going to make a hat.
But you know what's mad is that the conspiracy theory sounds so crazy. But for example, on October the 1st, I don't know if you were aware, you now need to register to own a chicken. You're not even. They made it law. Some people just keep chickens. They have eggs and they run around the garden, whatever. It's now law that if you own a chicken, you need to register it.
So they know where they are.
Who is this for? Why do you need to register your chicken? For what reason is it that you need to register your chicken?
So they know who's got chickens.
Exactly.
So you can't start supplying eggs on the black market. It's fucked up. Hey, did you hear? I've got a conspiracy. I heard. Have you heard that Trump died in 1989?
No.
Yeah. Apparently he died in a helicopter crash, and this ain't him. Someone else. Anyway, that's why.
I mean, that doesn't really change. But that wouldn't really
it doesn't.
change, Matt.
But it's just funny. There's a conspiracy for everything. I love it.
Well, no, but it's not a conspiracy that they're making
And
it
did you know
harder for you
Jussie Smollett was Kamala Harris's nephew? Is Kamala Harris's nephew?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I'll live fact.
That's what I've heard.
I'll live fact check that. Jussie Smollett.
Live fact check that. By marriage.
Kamala Harris.
That's his auntie.
Related.
Apparently he did all this. He did all this to
Smollett.
derail the MAGA movement because it was all like they said to him, "This is MAGA country," didn't they? It was so on the nose.
Jussie Smollett is Kamala Harris's. According to PolitiFact, it's false.
Oh, who are PolitiFact?
However,
who are PolitiFact? Government shills.
This doesn't confirm our theory that we want it to go. So I've seen underneath, not a hoax. So we'll click on that one from the very trustworthy Washington Free Beacon, who says,
"Yeah, that's got the word Washington in it. They must know."
But that's marches with Jussie Smollett.
Oh. Well, all right.
So yeah,
Jussie
Smollett was very involved in the Democrat Party, and a lot of Democrats came out to defend
he
him.
actually tried to do a big public hoax to absolutely crush and destroy the MAGA movement, didn't he? Did you know how it started? He sent himself a letter with crushed up aspirin in it and pretended it was ricin. Do you know this? When he was on the set, he sent himself a letter, and it said. It had crushed up aspirin in it to look like a white powdery substance, and it had like a drawing. See if you can find it, Darius. It's got this drawing of him like with a gun to his head and that, and like in 3-year-olds writing, it says that we gon' kill you.
What am
like
I looking for? Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett hate mail, and that. So anyway, he put this out, and the news companies didn't give it enough of a bump up. He didn't think it was a big enough of a story, so then he paid them Nigerians to pretend they were white supremacists. It was all just sort of like derail MAGA. And I've heard he's connected to Kamala.
Oh, wait a minute. 19 hours ago, Jussie Smollett's hate crime hoax conviction overturned in shock ruling.
I know, he's been overturned, yeah.
So is that him? They're saying it like he was
Well,
attacked.
the conspiracy is that the Dems are doing this again. They're rushing this through because he was doing it.
Jussie Smollett's hate
so it's
crime
got
hoax
like a
conviction.
presidential pardon type thing.
Kind of, yeah. Or the Dems have helped it because apparently he tried to help them. And I think, like, that this is the sort of thing you would bury. It's a small fry thing, I suppose. But what's going on in Russia and Ukraine? It's like, let's just let's sort of overturn this. I don't know. I don't care if things are true or not. That's where I'm different to most people. I just think it's funner. I don't give a shit. The real world's too depressing, mate. I live in flat Earth. That's where I live.
I haven't looked. Apparently, it's been overturned.
It has been overturned. Yeah.
So what does that mean? So it didn't happen, or it did happen, or
no, it did happen. It did happen. Yeah, it did happen. Have you seen that they've done an interview on like Fox News where they've got them two brothers saying how they did it? They're going like, we were sitting on this bench, but we were early. We had to wait for him, and they're walking you through it. They don't give a fuck, mate. It's hilarious.
That's mad.
Yeah.
I might be getting a hair transplant again.
Yeah, you said. Did they wait when?
Do I need one?
Let me have a
Not
look.
at the front. Where's it? Is it going at the back or the front?
Yeah,
Thing is, you know what it is?
Front's fine.
You're tall, so no one can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
can maybe make it fuller.
The hairline's fine, mate. I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's for like it's free because it's for an advert. But I'm like, what if it goes wrong and my head falls? Like,
what if they
off
turn you
and
into one of the Mexican wolf boys?
Well, you weren't bothered about that before.
Yeah, I had nothing to lose then because I was balding.
Oh, you think it could ruin this one?
I don't know.
Well, that wouldn't be a good
hair
advert.
transplants
Well, that wouldn't be a good advert
It's
for their
going to be like
company.
Israel, Palestine, these different hair plugs, isn't it? Like they're just not you got two-state solution on your head. They're not going to get along, mate.
What did you think about that? Did you watch the Mike Tyson fight, Justin? As a
It was
resident?
rubbish.
Yeah, it was rubbish.
It was a bad
Justin,
fight.
what do you think, Justin? I think it was rigged.
Well, yes, it's not a fight. It's he carried him, didn't he? It's entertainment. I could see ones where Tyson clearly pulled punches, saw an opening and instinctively went for it and stopped. And then Jake Paul also, and it's 58. I felt like I was watching that Dispatches documentary about like undercover care home abuse. It's 50 fucking 8, man.
Nah, but did you see him in training and you saw him in that? It was
That
just
doesn't matter.
Why?
What do you mean? He looked good in training?
Yeah.
No, you're hitting pads. It just doesn't. It's not.
So you don't think it was rigged then? I think it was rigged.
Oh no, I think all of the above. I think it was like I'm not going to knock out a 58-year-old man.
But you
And
think
the 50-year-old
Tyson
both
couldn't
ways.
have knocked out just Jake
Oh no,
Paul?
like I just said, Tyson pulled punches. I saw specific examples where there was an opening and he instinctively like cocked his hand but didn't throw it. It takes more wherewithal and reflexes to not throw it than throw it. When you're a boxer, do you know what I mean? When you're a boxer and it's instinctive, you don't let someone throw something at you, you sort of flinch. You get that with a fence. And he saw openings and you could see he had to pull it. He had to actually stop punching him, which takes more energy and everything. So it's just like it was an agreement. And look, it was free on Netflix. So I'm not up in arms about it. It's not like a pay-per-view. If Netflix,
oh man, if you paid 30 quid for that, imagine how angry
no, that would be a different story. But at the end of the day, people, if anyone subscribed to Netflix to watch it, then I feel bad for you. But at the end of the day, Netflix, I mean, it's they putting the net out. I don't think.
I mean, just if you logically think about it, it's obviously rigged because Tyson's not going to fight again, and they could build up Jake Paul. And if you look at it, not only does he get his pay, Netflix must have made so much money from that, and there's more money on the back end of promoting until Jake Paul invariably loses to someone.
Just talk about that.
He's going to fight Daniel Dubois.
Oh no, he'd kill him.
Yeah, and Darren Till's is fighting Tommy Fury. Have you ever seen that woman that Tommy Fury cheated with?
No.
Fuck it. She looks like Phil Lynott, mate. She's got this fucking great chin. But so what I was going to say, how does that business model work, do you think? Because Netflix don't show ads. I can't imagine that a lot of people subscribe. Maybe they did. It's a weird. How did Netflix make their money from that? Do you think? Do you think they'd have made their money?
Just the recognition. People would have signed up because it's £10. You say, it's £10 to sign up.
It's actually a good deal, then, isn't it? Because you get a month of Netflix. And you got to watch that, which was shit. But I don't know. It's not like I sort of like it's a bit of a murky business model.
Well, it's all It's all going linear because WWE in January is moving in the biggest deal. Man, I so annoyed. I was going to buy WWE stock. I knew I should have done. I never did it. But
can you buy it?
Yeah, you can buy it, and their stock. Netflix bought the rights to WWE. Biggest TV rights ever for $5 billion. So also it was which they kind of failed. It was a test to see what it would be like to live stream an event on Netflix before Raw comes out live.
Right.
But they're trying to get more people coming in because now they're saying their own content isn't. People don't really care about their films or the TVs. What actually people really go out and watch, because if you want to watch something you can just watch it illegally or you can find some ways, but you have to tune in live to see live events. So that's where they're trying to get in on that. That's why the thing for them.
Do you know, for me, wrestling is the most unique branch of entertainment in the world, that the behind the curtains is so much better than the product. Like I am actually interested in words like kayfabe, work, stiff. What the behind the scenes of wrestling is sort of fascinating to me. I can watch wrestlers talk. If I watched a podcast between two wrestlers, but I can't actually watch the fucking shit wrestling. It's the only entertainment thing I know where the sort of like background and the behind the scenes stuff is a much better product than the product. Do you know what I mean? It's the fucking most bizarre. It's the most bizarre thing.
Linda McMahon's going to be the education secretary as well. Trump's appointed her.
Oh, is this guy left the AG? He's not going to run now.
Yeah, it's a different position though.
Yeah. No, that was the Attorney General. Was it something like that? Or?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. What was he, a nonce or something?
No. Well, there's all this stuff about. There's all these allegations against him, but yeah, I think the swamp just came for him.
Man, that's the thing when you know you're on the right track. Hey, so what about Morning Joe? They went to meet Trump after saying he was a Nazi for 8 years, and the left have all completely turned their back on MSNBC about it. You know that Joe Scarborough and his missus.
What happened?
Well, they were the ones going, he's literally a Nazi. He's a horrible Nazi. He's evil. He's a fascist. And then they're like, on Monday or something, they went, yeah, on Friday we went to Mar-a-Lago and met Donald Trump. And it was like, what? You're the ones that said he was the devil incarnate. And they've sort of like,
said he's literally, like, everybody's like, oh, he's literally Hitler. And then, like, when he won, they're like, okay, we're gonna ensure a peaceful transfer of power. And it's like, what, you're gonna transfer power to Hitler? Well, you're as bad as Hitler then.
Yeah, you are. You're
or were you lying?
Yeah,
of course they were lying.
Apparently, the left branch of mainstream or legacy media in America is on its arse. Like I saw that Pac-Man going, he's lost like 100,000 subscribers. It's like
even in the UK, like GB News is now crushing Sky, and it's beating BBC most days as well. BBC News.
Listen, it's a sorry indictment of legacy media when anything to do with the Free Speech podcast is destroying you.
It's so fucked up that it's just got. I don't know. We've got to the point where it's so funny. It just seems like the cat's out of the bag. It's like stuff I've been thinking for so long. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, maybe we. It is just
actually coming true.
It's like when we had Rick on, right? And Darius. I mean, Darius is Darius, right? We like Darius, don't we, everyone? But look at him. And Darius goes to Rick. He goes, I don't. And Rick goes. Darius goes, who would you vote for? And he goes, I'd vote for Kamala, the Democrats. And me and Darius went, why? Can you name one thing you would vote positively for them to do? And he went, yeah, I'd vote for them because she didn't rape her own wife. Right? And then Darius went, oh, listen, even if that's true, he goes, I'd rather vote for him than the people who are going to usher in World War III. And I thought, oh, Darius, that's such a hyperbolic, ridiculous point. Yeah, here we are. They're fucking done it. They're doing it.
A week
Darius knows more than the BBC. What the fuck, man?
I don't think there's any risk of World War III. Like, for a start, like, Russia's all like, we got 5,000 nukes or whatever. It's like, man, do you really have 5,000 nukes? Do you know how expensive it is to maintain nuclear weapons?
Listen, they just dropped that. They just dropped that. First of all, they just dropped that new nuke in Dnipro, or where it is, new missile, which was capable of carrying
Do you think nukes are real then?
But you know what? It's irrelevant. Even if they're not capable, they're not. It's like, is this the kind of saber rattling you want to be part of? Like what? Not for me. Listen, you know what? People like you. Hold on. People like you, Leo. You're so pro-Ukraine, but you know Ukraine has a flipping a division of their army for foreigners who can join up and go and fight. I think people who are like you, who are like, oh yeah, we should be fighting the Russians. You should go and fight.
Oh, you should go to Palestine then, Darius.
Yeah, I think you should go.
You should go parachuting a Glastonbury with a fucking machine gun.
My thing about Palestine is I just want peace for both sides. I just want.
That's so cute. No, I'm just being a cunt.
Because I'm a nice guy. Listen, but I'm not here. I'm not here activate saying, oh, Hamas should continue this war. That's the difference. I'm not here saying, oh, I'm saying Hamas should fucking end this shit now. They should return the hostages and they should end it. I've said that. But Leo's saying, "Oh, we should."
You're not looking at the bigger picture. The thing is, if we don't enforce, national sovereignty and stuff like that, if we don't enforce the sort of post-war world order, if we just let anybody, if they've got tanks, more men, if they're allowed to just go and seize land, people are going to fucking do it. China's going to go and take Taiwan. Like if you don't,
what do I care about Taiwan? I don't care about Taiwan. What do I care about Taiwan?
Well, that's where all the fucking computer chips come from. So you Taiwan when you think China
if China invaded Taiwan, yeah, and they took over all the chips, you think they wouldn't send us? They're sending us fucking chips now. They're sending it to me even cheaper. Be good.
Yeah, but China will put little fucking spy stuff in the fucking chips.
Listen, I literally just bought a bathroom light from Temu, yeah? I know that it's sending live streams of myself naked in the shower to Beijing, yeah? So every now and then, I make sure I bend over and I wipe my ass real good.
I wouldn't mind that because I think our dicks are bigger than theirs. I wouldn't want it to transmit like the Congo.
That's a stereotype.
I know, I was trying to be naughty then. Here's the question then. So how long is this Ukraine? 3 years, is it now? 2 years?
2 years.
3 years.
Why now? Why now? You do it at the beginning. Why have they
Yeah.
let it rumble on for 2 years? And now
Well-
this is what I'm saying. It's so fucked up. It's not to end the war. Because if you weren't in the war, you'd end at the start. I would think, not the
But
end.
they kind of
That
have.
makes sense.
They
The
kind
end's
of
always
have.
at the end, I suppose.
They kind of have won the war to a certain extent, because I mean, like, Russia's even now, Russia's losing so many. Russia's had to like bring
Have
in
you
North
heard?
Koreans.
Have you ever heard?
It's
the
like you
theory?
know things are going well when you got to bring in North Koreans and pay mercenaries from the Middle East and Africa.
Well, I heard that the way Russia approached
They're going in on like motorbikes and golf
One at a
carts
time.
and stuff. Like, it's not going well for Russia.
No, I know, but I've heard that the way they win wars is by attrition. They just have more
Yeah.
people. Historically, like we think, oh, we had this great raid behind, like, you know, San Nazir or whatever. And we got the SAS got in and we scuppered this ship in that. But like Russians are like, we just keep chucking people in until you run out of bullets, basically.
Yeah,
that is how they approach
happened
war.
In the Second World War, you know, Germany had this really technologically advanced fighting machine, and you know they went in and they had all this stuff. You'd think it's like, and they're literally going up against like Bolsheviks with pitchforks. You know, people are told you've got to go and fight those guys with machine guns with this pitchfork. If you don't have a pitchfork, pick up the pitchfork of the man in front of you who gets shot. You know what I mean? And so with axe handles and stuff like that, they'd be going up against.
They've got a lot
machine
more
guns.
people.
But
That's their resource.
Eventually, the machine guns, they'd overheat, they'd like run out of bullets or whatever. And, you know, even though they lost like thousands of men and like, you know, to take this, you know, one little thing, Stalin was always like, you know, Russia's always going to have more children. The thing that's screwing Russia and screwing Ukraine now is people aren't having children. Well, the whole of Europe, people just aren't having children. Do
you know how Hitler prepared for World War II? Do you know
even after peace, like Russia's got huge amounts of immigration, especially from the Muslim world. Like Russia's going to be like Islamic.
That's the problem. You're
France
importing all these people, but they have a different ideology. They're not going to do it. Like, you know, but the Hitler before, or the Nazis before World War II, they went down to Antarctica. Do you know this?
No.
Yeah, they went to Antarctica for like ages. And then they had them Foo Fighters. This ain't going on Antarctica, man. I don't know what it is.
Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters. Yeah.
A UFO or something, is it?
Yeah, UFOs. Like in the World War, because there was no UFOs before, like World War II. No one ever saw one. And then all of a sudden they fucking crop up. But I don't know, Hitler. I don't know. There's something going on in Antarctica, man. There's something weird down there. It's not just a big patch of ice. I don't think it's some fucked up shit down there.
I mean, that is weird. That's the only
Isn't it
place
the
on
wall?
Earth no one can go, and
you're not allowed.
Every
Everyone's
single
agreed.
country that's always war, which is just like that. We're never ending wars, except for this thing. We're all in agreement on
Even
that
Israel
one
and
thing.
Palestine, like, yeah, we'll do all this, but we won't go into Antarctica. Yeah, we won't go down there. Russia and Ukraine, yeah, we can do this, but we won't go to Antarctica. I've seen this thing where these Australians are sailing towards it in a fishing boat. Just let's fucking go, and like a massive battleship just blocks them off. I don't know if that's true.
It's the Truman Show. It's like the Wall in the Truman Show.
It's fucked up. And you know, there's that one peninsula in Argentina with the penguins on it. That's the only place they ever show you.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like this
that's
bit
wild.
that sticks out. Yeah. But anyway, the Nazis went there for like months.
Apparently,
Because they
there's
went
a
into the
hidden
occult,
kingdom.
weren't they?
Oh, I read this kind of links back. Someone said a historian who wrote about Atlantis, You're Like This, is racist because Atlantis is inherently
White
racist
supremacy.
against white supremacy. I was surprised Leo didn't tweet that.
No, but the thing about that I saw that Flint Dibble. He went on Joe Rogan and debated.
Yeah, that's it.
Graham Hancock. Yeah, but I think the thing is they're going. Oh, there were more ancient civilizations. Have you heard about that one in Libya or somewhere like that? And they've got them the biggest stones. No, there's this thing, and they've got these stones that are 900 tons each, and they've been quarried and stacked on top of each other. It's like, what the fuck were they doing that for? Because if they've worked, I always say this about the pyramids. If you've worked out you can make big things out of little things, i.e. bricks, why would you make the bricks 900 tons? Like, you'd make them smaller so you can... Do you know what I mean? You'd stack 900 one-ton bricks, for example. It's just easier, isn't it? And they've worked out bricks. So, ancient giants. That's that. If you follow the logic,
Leo's a descendant from the ancient giants. All right, and do you see the Jaguar advert? The Jaguar this week released just an advert from about 5 years ago, and their stock price has instantly gone down. Have you seen this advert?
Has it?
Yeah,
obviously, because they're owned by Tata. So is it a publicly traded company?
Let's have a look if I'm lying or not. I think I read.
Doesn't matter. Don't know. Stop looking stuff up. Who are you fucking young
Jaguar cars. Stock
It'd be
price.
GLR.
Can I just say while you're looking that up, I remember in the
Ah.
80s,
It's so
was that
as you can
guy-
see, it's clearly gone up. So yeah.
Well, you know what the mad thing is? Like, so that advert came out, and man, it's a total car crash. It's just like it's just getting totally like all the attention it's
gotta be
getting. It's just
deliberate at
people
this
slagging
point.
it off. I went on the guide, so their head of branding. I went on his
Can you
LinkedIn
see it?
page. Yeah, that's the advert there. I went on his LinkedIn page, and he's all like, "Oh, so excited to be doing this advert, blah blah blah. It's landed. Oh, so excited for the next steps and stuff." And underneath it, there's people being like, "Oh yeah, it's so well done." All I've seen in the last 24 hours is people talking about this. Well done for getting so much attention to the brand. It's like it's not good attention.
No,
it's like
yeah,
Gary
right.
Glitter being like, "Oh, brilliant! I'm back in the papers."
Like everybody's
It's not-
talking about Justine Sacco. But did you remember in the 80s?
Hold on. The thing with that advert though is it's just so, man. It's so outdated now. It's like
It's so
the
cliche.
No one cares.
Yeah, it's like the first thing it says is copy nothing. It's like this is so cliche, being done to death.
Yeah.
Like you can imagine when they did it, when they were doing it, like
Yeah, it's
Kamala's
like- it's
definitely gonna win, and they didn't win, but it's just it was rubbish. Even
like-
if Kamala did win, it would still be rubbish. Like
It's
no
like if you
one's
didn't
interested in this.
Like if you did an advert now saying, "I think women should be allowed to vote," you're like, "Yeah,
Actually, that's quite good. That's quite good.
No, but in the
Terrible
80s,
idea.
Pirelli had an advert, didn't they? And it was to the Velvet Underground, Venus in Furs.
Man,
and
you
it
know
was
what?
just all people in bondage and stuff, and no one really gave a fuck back then.
Yeah, that was back in
Just-
1992 or something. But the thing is,
you remember that?
I thought that was Pirelli. I put it in my video. I was like, Pirelli have already done this. They did the fetish thing.
No.
It was Dunlop. It was Dunlop.
Oh, you
It wasn't
shitting
even- I
me? This is
remember it was
Mandela
Pirelli.
effect. This is Mandela effect. And can I, before we go in the conspiracy on the Mandela effect, the thing about the Mandela effect is I do believe in it. Like the Pringles guy ain't got a monocle, and there was no film called Aladdin or whatever with
Has
Sinbad.
the Pringles guy not got a monocle?
Nah.
I'll check. He has got a monocle. You're wrong. Look at
He's
it.
got a monocle. Oh wait,
Oh no, he hasn't.
How did you get that wrong, Darius? Where is the monocle there? You want me to be wrong so bad? You've Mandela affected a monocle in your brain.
Well,
But,
what's this then?
That's the Monopoly dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
So
someone's
You know what that is.
photoshopped that. So the thing is, right? The Mandela effect. They reckon, although the conspiracy is since the Large Hadron Collider, they're going back and changing things to
Hard
demoralise and fuck with us. But the Mandela effect is the worst name for it because I'm a rugby fan. And the Mandela effect comes from everyone thinks he died in prison. But I distinctly, one of my big memories of the mid-90s is Nelson Mandela presenting Francois Pienaar with a trophy. So the fact they've called it the Mandela effect is to sort of like undermine their own theory. Do you know what I mean? That's controlled opposition, part of the PSYOP. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think that's a shit name for it. It should be the
Yeah, 'cause
monocle
also,
Pringles
like, I thought-
theory.
I don't. Maybe that was the first time the sort of that type of thing came to public prominence, so they had to go with that name. But yeah, there's got to be better examples. Like the Pringles, they should
It's the
call it
worst
fucking
example.
Pringles monocle thing.
Exactly. That's the worst. The Mandela. They've named it the worst example to dispute their own or to like dismiss their own.
So what was the actual Mandela effect then? What is it?
Everyone thinks he died in prison. He didn't.
But why is that? What are you saying about the World Cup?
He got out of prison, and his first big public thing that was in my sphere of what I was interested in is when South Africa won the World Cup in 1995. Nelson Mandela presented the trophy, and it was a big moment because it's a black, the Springboks are a symbol of white, apartheid and sort of like division. And Nelson Mandela had a Springbok jersey on and handed over the trophy to Francois Pienaar, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan, the captain, basically. And it was this big cultural moment. So they've gone, the Mandela effect is when they go back in the timeline and fuck with things to fuck with our brains. We'll call it the Mandela effect because the names, to me, disproves it. I don't think he died in prison. It's a bad example of the Mandela effect.
But why did they say that's a Mandela effect, him handing the trophy over?
No. Everyone thinks the Mandela effect is named because most people believe that he died in prison. But he didn't. If you go, people, you look it up, he didn't die in prison. But I'm saying that's a terrible name for the Mandela effect. It's not a good example of itself. Because I know he didn't die in prison. He did a really big public thing. Just for me. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've got my own one called the Ferdinand effect. Now, the Ferdinand effect is when there's a myth about someone. Les Ferdinand vandalised the Blue Peter Garden. Then the truth comes out, but the myth is better than the truth, and it's more believable. That's the Ferdinand effect. That's my own one.
That's quite
But
good one, actually.
Yeah. Because you've got the Streisand effect, is where you try to cover something up, and by covering it up, you attract more attention to it, innit?
Yeah.
Because her house was photographed in a thing about eroding cliffs, and she tried to get an injunction for people to stop publishing photos of her house, which made the news saying everyone saw her house. Basically what Ryan Giggs did with his super injunction, isn't it?
Yeah.
That never works. You try and cover something up and you elevate it.
If you just own it, it's done in a week anyway.
There's a super injunction recently. What was it? It was mad. It was like people who'd been convicted of a crime or something. Oh fuck, I can't remember.
There was one recently, weren't there?
Yeah, and it was really weird. It was one that was definitely in the public interest for people to know. And you'd think,
is it not the Keir Starmer allegedly defending the Rwandan genocide?
No, it wasn't that one. No, there's no injunction around that because it's just not true. And also, even if it was true, I mean, barristers represent all kinds of people. It's not like barristers. You can't have a go at a barrister for you represented a criminal. It's like, that's your job.
Can. That's not how this works. If it fits our narrative, we push it. Although Keir Starmer's approval rating has plummeted faster than Tata's stock price.
He's the worst. I think all politicians are as bad as each other, apart from he's worse. I can't even stand his little voice.
It sounds like Joe Lycett. It's a Joe Lycett. Joe Lycett. My name's Joe Lycett. Keir Starmer. I'm a wanker. No,
I'm going to write a letter.
It's just mad to see politicians who actively hate their own citizens so much. It really and the fact that they want to replace their own citizens with people who vote for them. Yeah. So that's not democracy. If people don't want to vote for you, don't just import people who will. That's what Kamala was doing. That's what Starmer's doing.
Darius has made this point before. They don't, because all the Mexicans in America that cut grass for a living, they don't want illegals because they're going to take their job cutting the grass. They shut the door behind them. They're not going to vote for open borders.
Yeah,
they're going to say close the fucking border.
No, once you're in, you pull the.
But you're doing the ladder up. You're the one in the restaurant washing the dishes. What do you think they're going to do? Come in and start running companies? They're going to come after your fucking job.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come. Any club. I don't want to be let into any club that would let me in. Yeah. So once they've let me in, I don't want you coming in there ruining it for me. Listen, before we end, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is actually. New Zealand, for me, New Zealand and Canada are the test bed of authoritarianism.
And Australia as well.
Australia, right? Just yesterday, New Zealand passed a ban on, first arrest is New Zealand ban on displaying gang patches comes into force, right? So if you even show like this now, you can be arrested for having a gang patch in your house, right? And they say, this is to crack down on crime. But this infringes on so many civil human rights and gives the state so many powers.
What about if you're a homeless person and you got just to keep warm, you found a jacket in a clothing bank? They're going to arrest you forever.
That's what they're arrested for. They'll arrest you, right? If you say your granddad was in a thing in New Zealand, apparently these gangs are, it's not like our gangs, but in New Zealand. Your granddad might pass down his colours, right? And you might have that in your house.
Government wants 40%.
Well, yeah, but you might have this in your house as like a memento. They can come in and arrest you for having that. But then the bigger question is, at which point do you define a gang? Could we start the 3SP gang and then could we show us the logo and then could they arrest us? It just goes over so many Bill of Rights. So critics believe could risk breaching the Bill of Rights, and it's not going to reduce gang membership.
Can I just say it's slightly adjacent but similar? So they've passed this as a law, yeah?
It's a law, so you can't show.
Hey, what about this then, Darius? Over here now, they don't even have to do that. They can get you for a non-crime incident. So instead of having to create, have they dropped it? You fucking.
Well, they dropped the thing. No, but they dropped the. Which is good that they were
only because there was loads of media attention and stuff.
Oh, that one case,
loads of people getting done with it.
And there's still non-crime hate is a thing.
There's a little girl who's issued with a non-crime hate incident because she said a classmate smelled like fish.
Yeah, I saw that.
How's that a non-crime hate incident?
They're not taking down fucking cartels with this stuff. They're literally just traumatizing children.
But instead of having to pass a law, everyone, the House of Lords or whatever, and go, yeah, we're going to make this law. They're just bypassing all that and going, we'll just fucking arrest you if we feel like it. Never mind, we don't even need laws now to be arrested here. Never mind, they're passing a law about that in New Zealand, and you're saying they're the test bed, Darius. Really, if you think about it, we're fucking way ahead of them.
Yeah.
We're not passing laws, we're bypassing laws. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. I should
that's all the stuff that comes out of HR departments are like more powerful than laws, because they can implement stuff. They can implement rules. They don't need to put it through the House of Parliament, the House of Lords, get it ratified, get it signed off and scrutinised. They can just do it.
This is the thing with the social justice people, when they were saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And I felt like screaming at them years ago, like, don't make more rules, you twat, because they'll be used against you. We've got rules. Why are you making up all these new rules and policing them yourselves? Like, this is the whole thing with cancel culture. It's like, and people say it does or doesn't exist. The point is, you wanted people to get cancelled. You actively would go, to some theatre. Oh, I see you're having Leo Curse on. I don't think you should. And they go, actually, Leo, we don't want, or whoever, we don't want you here. It happened to you, didn't go abroad or Australia or somewhere.
Yeah, it's happening in this country as well. A whole tour.
Shut up, Leo. There's no such thing as cancel culture. What are you crying about? We just sent them some letters.
And then they come after Jerry Sadowitz, Reginald D. Hunter. They're starting to come after the comedians on the left.
And then you get like Frankie Boyle completely turncoats because he don't want him to come after him. So now Frankie Boyle is like Trump. If you say that Trump died in 89 and came, Frankie Boyle's dead. This person now is an imposter, isn't it? That's not Frankie Boyle. He's just fucking a mouthpiece now.
You know what? Leo posted a funny tweet. He posted that it's going to be interesting watching, the left to defend BlackRock. You just slap a trans flag on it, and then they'll just go to war for them and defend them to the hilt.
They are bootlickers, mate.
What's James O'Brien? I'd like to see what he has to say about this, because he's been pushing the inheritances. Oh yeah, they should be charged. Oh, you can't pay 60 grand over 10 years or whatever. But now it's like, okay, but obviously it's to sell it to BlackRock. So it'd be interesting to see how he maneuvers around that.
Was my point at the start about how Dems say Trump's the bad, the end of the world, defending what the Dems have done in Ukraine. It's like, this just doesn't jive. It's like, they're like, Trump's the worst thing that could happen. It's like, it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's all the smoke show, like the arresting, like I said.
It's funny how, the left used to be so suspicious and cynical about corporations and government and all this sort of stuff. And then, so corporations and government were like, well, we need to do something to get them on board. We'll introduce a thing called values. And it's like, so we'll project these values. Oh, look, we support trans rights. So then all the left are like, yeah, this faceless organization that just wants to make money, it supports trans rights. It aligns. And literally see people on, I've had comments on my video when I was slagging off Ben and Jerry's. The people underneath are like, I eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream because they align with my values. I'm like, it's fucking ice cream. How can ice cream have fucking values? The only value they got is they want money. Well. Then they're owned by Unilever. They're owned by a global corporation. Man, you think they got values other than we like money?
Yeah, it's like these companies that send crushed up asbestos to Africa and tell them it's baby milk. It's like, they're the fucking good guys, are they? Yeah, Nestle and Pfizer are the good guys, are they, you fucking idiot?
Did you see, though, Bud Light, had done a complete 180, and now they've released a new advert with, Shane Gillis as, lads. But I'm like, I don't think they should be and people, I don't think they should be...
That's not going to work.
Yeah, it better not work. People...
It's not going to... even right after they did that first advert, the advert with Dylan Mulvaney, which is just a small little social media thing, man, that just tanked it. And now, once you're famous for something like that, it's like I don't know, Jimmy Savile coming back and trying to relaunch his career as a TV presenter. It's not gonna.
It reminds me of that fucking Disney woman. Is it Rachel Zegler or something? She used to get in the sea, didn't she? She's a fucking idiot. She came out and threatened. She's like, I hope you Trump voters never get peace. And now she has to come out and apologise.
But that apology was written for her by her. It was proven it was written for her by a PR agency, because in her Instagram story she just writes all lowercase. But then in this in a apology which she wrote herself from her heart and really meant.
Fucking
It was like
Poirot
really
over it.
It was really formal with all caps locks and everything correct and
Man,
capitalized.
you know what that's like. You know when, like, during lockdown, when all the comedians started accusing each other of rape and all this sort of stuff, like, and then comedians who got caught had to issue apologies. I'm not gonna name names, but there was one comedian. It was all his apologies were in like Apple Notes or whatever, and you could see, you know, the font and everything. And then his ex-girlfriend issued a statement of support, and it was in the exact same font. He'd obviously screenshot it.
Is that the one who said, "Listen, guys, we're all awful. At least I'm doing something about it. Maybe you should as well." It's like, no. You're the raper. You don't get to tell us that we're all just the same. You've done it.
I'm going to therapy, and one of them tried to
I'm
blame
ahead
it
of the
on,
curve, working on myself. You should too. No, I didn't do the rape, mate.
internalized. One of them was like, I have internalized white supremacy, and, and they weren't white, but they'd
We've all been forced
internalized
to
white
do that, haven't
supremacy,
we?
and that made them rape.
I miss the good old days when we could externalise it. It's all hush hush now. Fucking WhatsApp groups, mate. They used to be down to fucking Legion.
MAGA 2025.
Externalise your white supremacy. Get it out there, out and proud.
Yeah, but the problem is when they push it away and say you can't talk online, you can't do it. That is actually what happens. We say it in joke, but that's what's actually happening, and it's turning people who might have been like, they wouldn't have been racist, but they might have had like some views, but they could have been talked around and turned to racist.
This is the uncomfortable truth. I'm not racist. I'm not bigoted. I am not, unless you are. And then I'll join in. Because I like to connect with people. So if someone starts saying something fucked up, you look around, you make sure they're not wearing a wire, and you just dip your toe in. It's fun, right?
Yeah, I think the dumbest thing the left ever did was like have this hyper focus on race and also alienate like white people, because we had a generation of white people grow up. Like, I grew up in an era like we just weren't racist. Like we didn't. Yeah. We're taught to sort of judge people based on
business, was it?
Based on their character and stuff. So we weren't judging people based on the color of their skin. And then like all of a sudden, like, you know, you do all that and you got pal. You never really had a problem with, you know, race. You got, you know, everybody's getting on fine. And then all of a sudden you get told, oh, you're a total racist. Blah blah blah. White people are bad.
Inherently,
white people. All these like white men who had been like, you know, disillusioned and rejected from the jobs market and all that sort of stuff, and just got told that they're terrible because this hyper focus on race. They start looking at race, and it made everybody sort of focus on race again. And I think that was a terrible.
They love it.
Idea.
Do you know what, Leo? They did it with sexual assault, because you would be like, don't sexually assault women, and you go, all right, I won't then. And then they go, oh, but you're part of rape culture. You're like, what? I'm part of the culture now. Just individually, I didn't do it. And it's the same with race, isn't it? It's like, don't be racist. Oh, everything's racist, and you're in the world's racist. You're on the world, then you must be.
But like, you didn't have to go out and rape just because they told you it was your culture, Justin.
No, I had to not go out because they told me not to. That's my point. No, but you don't. You just don't do it. And then you go, well, rape culture's the thing, and they start going, oh, I'm part of rape culture.
Yeah.
It's not, but you're not a raper.
They sort of create an idea that, you know, this is like the world is super racist, where it actually sort of normalizes racism and all that.
Oh, of course it does. Well, that's why you've got like, they're segregating like American unis, like black only dorms and all this stuff. But the thing is, most people I know from different races and background, what's happened now, talking from a comedy perspective, is people know when you're laughing with them and know you're laughing at them. Whenever I like to do jokes about race, deal with racial topics, and the people who love them the most are the people those jokes are about. So if I do jokes about black people, they fucking love it because they know I'm laughing with them, not at them. The only people who get offended ever at race is like some white woman with blue hair. So people,
because they feel they've got to, because they think.
Oh, they look around. White. Where's the black guys? Are okay for me to laugh? They believe
they're inherently racist. So they have to vocally slap that on you to prove that I am inherently racist, but I'm working on it. It's like, you're not. You've been tricked into thinking you are. You're not. You can't inherit racism.
I'm going to clip that just for the beginning. Justin going, I am inherently racist. Listen,
is that not clear?
Listen, have we got anything else to say? Anything else you want to talk about before we call it a day? It's been a rambling podcast. discussed. A lot
Yeah,
of
as
topics.
opposed to the laser focused ones we normally
actually we had quite a focused one last week. Actually, Leo.
Yeah, I weren't on it.
No,
Have you? It's old news, but just because it's so fucked up, Michelle Obama's dick on Ellen. Have you watched that?
no.
She's got a
Google it
massive
right now.
dick. Yeah, it was a while ago, but it got me thinking that people that are famous for having big dicks is Big Mike, the pole vaulter guy, that black bloke who's sitting on the end of the bed in that meme, and Michelle Obama, the 3 famous big dicks in human history, I think. She's dancing around with it in a pair of white linen shorts, like flaunting it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking nuts. I don't know why it just made me think of that.
There it is.
I'm looking at the.
Where is it?
If you just
Darius.
Google Michelle Obama penis Ellen.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I've done.
Because is it Macron? There's a rumor about his wife being a
yeah.
dude. What's going on in the world?
She's got kids.
Macron. Well,
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have brought that up. I was just thinking about a big juicy penis. That's all. And you asked me if there's anything.
right. On that note, listen. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of the Free Speech Podcast. We've had a few people email in saying they want to come on the pod, argue with us. We were going to try and get one on today, Paul. Sorry we didn't do that. That's down to me being rubbish. But listen, if you want to come on the pod, argue your point, or send in your questions or whatever you want. Maybe, you know what, drop us a voice note. We can discuss that and argue on the pod. We'll do that as well. Other than that, listen, Perth, Australia, I'm coming for the Perth Fringe, January the 14th. I'm bringing the Haters Ball. Every weekend, we're going to get the finest Australian comedians in their price range and some good ones as well. And we're going to hate on topics.
I'm watching this video. It looks like she's got a penis.
Yeah, she's got a penis.
I'm trying to plug my show.
Well, she's trying to plug your anus.
Leo,
that.
isn't it mesmerising?
Yeah.
I've been hypnotised by this big swinging penis.
It's like poking out. That's so funny.
She's got a penis, and everyone's just like, "Oh yeah," but she has. What else could it be?
I don't know. Maybe like
A clitoris.
Fucking hell, mate. That Barack must have some stuck on him if he's elongated that out.
All right. Well, anyway, Justin, listen to Justin's podcast, The Intellectual Abattoir, and listen to Leo's, go on Leo's latest YouTube channel view. Why are you moving? Oh, there it is. He's doing his Intellectual Abattoir podcast.
I put 2 P's in it by mistake, which is sort of like a tautology, but it should be IA podcast. But
there you go. I think that's it. Listen, anything else? I think that's it.
That's everything.
Sorry.
That's it. We've said everything. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe. Join our Patreon. Bye.
Bye.